I think a lot of people say they want love, but I'm not always convinced we still know what love is. We want attention, we want chemistry, we want validation, we want somebody to text us back, we want somebody attractive standing beside us. But love, real love, the kind that requires patience, sacrifice, commitment, forgiveness, self control, that version seems increasingly difficult to find. Dating apps gives us thousands of choices, social media gives us constant comparison, pornography gives us artificial intimacy, hookup culture gives us physical connection without emotional security, and algorithms continuously whisper that somebody better might be the one swipe away. So tonight, I want to ask something that might make people uncomfortable. Did modern dating kill real love? Or did we kill it ourselves? Welcome back to the Midnight Perspective. Turn the lights down, put the phone away for a little while, because tonight we're talking about love. I want to start with something that sounds like a contradiction. Human beings have never had more opportunities to meet each other. Think about it. 100 years ago, your dating pool was largely determined by geography. Your town, your church, your workplace, your community. Today, you can meet somebody hundreds or thousands of miles away while lying in bed at midnight. You can open an app and see hundreds of faces within minutes. Technologically, that's incredible. Emotionally, I'm not sure it has made us happier. Because when people become options, people can start feeling disposable. And I think that is one of the defining problems of modern dating. You meet somebody, you like them, there's chemistry, but somewhere in the back of your mind there's a question, could I do better? And the other person may be wondering the exact same thing. That changes everything, because commitment requires a willingness to stop shopping. At some point, you choose. You say, there may be millions of people in this world, but I'm going to build something with you. That doesn't mean pretending nobody else is attractive. It means deciding attraction is not the highest authority in your life. That is a major distinction. Dating apps can absolutely create real relationships. I'm not arguing that they can't, but I think the way many of them are designed can change how people think, look, swipe left, swipe right, reject, accept, next, next, next. It starts looking less like human connection and more like online shopping. Height, weight, job, photos, bio, political opinion, religion, hobbies, and within seconds, we decide whether a human being deserves another 30 seconds of our attention. That should probably bother us more than it does, because some of the greatest qualities in a person, loyalty, patience, kindness, humor, integrity, gentleness, cannot be photographed. You don't see somebody's character in 4 pictures. You discover character over time, but modern dating increasingly demands instant decisions, instant chemistry, instant attraction, instant excitement, and if the fireworks aren't there immediately, next. That mentality makes slow-growing love harder. This is one of the biggest mistakes I think people make. Chemistry and compatibility are not the same thing. Chemistry is powerful. It can make someone occupy your mind constantly. You want their attention, you want their touch, you want their approval. It feels intense. But intensity does not automatically mean health. Sometimes chemistry comes from emotional instability. Sometimes it comes from unpredictability. Sometimes it comes from familiar wounds. Someone can excite you and still be terrible for you. Compatibility looks different. You can communicate. Do your values align? Can you disagree without humiliating each other? Can you trust each other? Do you want similar futures? Does this person bring peace into your life? Do they encourage growth? Can you depend on them when life stops being exciting? Those questions aren't sexy, but marriages are built on them. Here's where the conversation gets a little more uncomfortable. I think modern dating culture regularly confuses lust with love. Sexual attraction is not evil, it's human, but attraction alone is not love. Lust says, "What can I get from you?" Love asks, "How can I care for you?" Lust is consumption, love is responsibility. Lust wants access, love wants understanding. Lust is often impatient, love can wait. And I think those differences matter because a relationship can be extremely physical and emotionally empty. Two people know each other's bodies without knowing each other's hearts. And I think modern culture pretends that it isn't lonely, but it can be. We also need to talk about pornography, because you cannot seriously discuss modern relationships while pretending pornography has no influence on them. Pornography turns intimacy into performance. It trains people to consume bodies. It creates expectations about appearances, sex, availability, performance, and perhaps most damaging, it removes relationships from sexuality. There is no real responsibility, no vulnerability, no patience, no conflict resolution, no growing old together, just stimulation. And when people consume enough artificial intimacy, real intimacy can begin feeling inconvenient. Real people have needs. Real people have bad days. Real people age. Real people say no. Real people have trauma. Real people require communication. A screen requires none of that. That difference matters. Another thing we rarely talk about. Relationships used to primarily exist between the people inside them. Now they often have an audience. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, couple photos, anniversary posts, vacation reels, public declarations. And none of those things are inherently bad. But I think relationships become dangerous when being seen as happy becomes more important than actually being happy. You can create a perfect relationship online while barely speaking at home. You can post "my forever person" and then spend the evening resenting each other. You can have beautiful photos and terrible communication. As a photographer, I understand better than most. A photograph captures a frame. It does not capture an entire life. That applies to relationships too. I think commitment scares people now because commitment means closing doors. And modern culture hates closed doors. We want options. What if somebody better appears? What if this relationship becomes boring? What if I change? What if they change? Those are legitimate fears. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot experience deep commitment while permanently keeping one foot outside of the relationship. At some point, you either build or you browse. Those are different lifestyles. And I think a lot of people want the security of commitment without the responsibility of commitment. They want exclusivity from someone else while preserving maximum freedom for themselves. That doesn't work. Now, ghosting fascinates me. Not because it's mysterious, because it's cowardly. And I know that sounds harsh. There are situations where disappearing is absolutely appropriate for safety. But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about two normal people who have been talking, possibly dating, possibly becoming emotionally attached, and one person suddenly disappears rather than having 10-second uncomfortable conversation. That is one of the strangest accepted behaviors of modern dating. We tell people emotional intelligence matters, then normalize disappearing without explanation. I know, I have had that problem in my past. Sometimes the respectful sentence is simply, I enjoy getting to know you, but I don't think this is the right for me. That's uncomfortable. But adulthood is full of uncomfortable conversations. Avoiding discomfort doesn't make somebody emotionally mature. There is no perfect person. I know that sounds obvious, but I don't think modern dating behaves as if we believe it. Somebody is attractive, but they have an annoying habit. Next, somebody is kind, but they don't share every hobby. Next, somebody loves you, but they're imperfect. Of course they are. So are you. Healthy standards are important. Abuse should not be tolerated. Dishonesty should not be excused. Incompatibility is real. But there is a difference between standards and perfectionism. Long-term love means discovering things about another person that irritates you and deciding whether they actually matter. Because someday, they will discover the same things about you. Now, this is where I think culture has done serious damage. We treat the feeling of falling in love as if that feeling is love itself. But falling in love is chemistry. Staying in love requires decisions. The beginning is easy, everything is new. You stay up until 2 in the morning talking. You miss them 5 minutes after leaving. Every touch feels electric, but eventually real life arrives. Bills, work, stress, illness, family problems, boredom, responsibility. And then the relationship asks a deeper question. Do you love the person? Or did you only love the feeling the way they gave you? That is where relationships become real. So what does real love look like? I don't think it always looks cinematic. Sometimes it looks ordinary. Checking that they got home safely, making dinner when they're exhausted, listening to the same story again, sitting beside them during grief, remembering how they take their coffee, learning their fears, apologizing without adding, but you also protecting their trust, not humiliating them during arguments, choosing faithfulness when nobody would know otherwise. That's love. Love is often incredibly unglamorous, but that's what makes it powerful. As a Christian, my understanding of love is obviously shaped by faith, and Christianity gives us an incredibly challenging definition. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it is not proud. It keeps no record of wrongs. That sounds beautiful until you actually have to live it. Patience becomes difficult when somebody disappoints you. Kindness becomes difficult when you're angry. Forgiveness becomes difficult when someone hurt you deeply. Faithfulness becomes difficult when temptation appears. Biblical love isn't sentimental. It demands character. And I think that definition clashes violently with culture built around what makes me happy right now, because love sometimes asks, what is good for us long term? Those questions produce very different relationships. But I want to make something clear. Commitment does not mean tolerating abuse. Forgiveness does not require remaining in danger. Loyalty does not mean surrendering your identity. And Christianity should never be used as a weapon to trap somebody in violence or coercion. Love does not require somebody to become smaller so another person can feel powerful. Healthy love makes room for both people to remain human. Boundaries are not hatred. Sometimes boundaries are what makes love sustainable. Another thing I'm tired of, the gender war. Men are terrible. Women are terrible. No, people are hurting people. Men can manipulate, women can manipulate. Men can cheat, women can cheat. Men can become emotionally unavailable, women can become emotionally unavailable. Pain does not belong exclusively to one gender. And relationships will never improve if every conversation becomes which side is worse. We should be asking, how do we become better? That question is harder, but it's actually useful. Maybe one solution is incredibly boring. Slow down, talk longer, learn somebody. Watch how they treat waiters. Watch how they speak about former partners. Watch how they behave when angry. Watch whether their apologies produce changed behavior. Pay attention to how they treat people who cannot benefit them. Character reveals itself over time. That is precisely why time matters. You cannot speedrun intimacy. You cannot speedrun attraction, not trust. Eventually, every person you love will disappoint you, and you will disappoint them. That doesn't mean every hurt should be tolerated. But relationships between imperfect people inevitably involve mistakes. The question becomes, what happens afterwards? Is there accountability? Is there humility? Does somebody listen? Does behavior change? Can trust be rebuilt? Mature love does not expect perfection. It expects responsibility. After everything I've said tonight, I still believe in real love. Absolutely. I don't think it disappeared. I think it became harder to recognize because our culture became incredibly good at selling substitutes. Attention looks like love. Sex looks like intimacy. Possessiveness looks like passion. Jealousy looks like caring. Dependency looks like devotion. But none of those things automatically equal love. Real love is quieter, steadier, less impressive on social media, and much more impressive after 20 years. So, did modern dating kill real love? No. I don't think technology can kill something fundamentally human. But I do think modern dating can make love harder when people begin treating relationships like products. People like options, sex like entertainment, and commitment like imprisonment. Love survives, but it requires something countercultural. Patience, depth, loyalty, truth, self-control, grace, and the courage to choose one imperfect human being, while knowing another option will always exist somewhere. Thank you for spending another midnight with me. If you're single, don't let loneliness convince you to accept something that isn't love. If you're dating, learn the person in front of you. If you're married, don't stop becoming curious about the person you chose. And if somebody has broken your heart, don't let what they did convince you that love itself was a lie. This is the Midnight Perspective. And tonight, maybe the most rebellious thing two people can do in a disposable world is choose each other again tomorrow.